Okay, good morning, everybody. I'm Haley Black, the co-founder of Inspirations Academy. I am leading a summertime book study, and it's all about mindset of how we can approach our children starting from preschool all the way up through adulthood, of how to combine what brain science has said for decades and what educators are experiencing and finding out with their own psychology of education, how we can marry the two and empower parents, empower educators, empower administrators, empower employers of young people, and empower the young people that you really can learn how to be a self-driven child. So I came across this book called The Self-Driven Child, The Science and Sense of Giving Your Kids More Control Over Their Lives. And it is written by two people. One is more of a neuroscientist. The other is more of the educator, the experienced educator. So I am leading this book study for the summer. You can find the recordings on our YouTube channel, Inspirations Academy YouTube channel. Also on the Facebook page, I will post the resources that have already been posted for this book study. This is not just for educators. This is really written to parents. So if you have children or grandchildren or you're involved with children, this is going to give you a really awesome way to view how their brains work, what science actually says about brains, and how you can transform and help transform your child in a direction that relieves stress off of you, relieves stress off of them, creates a stronger family unit and improves relationship, and also improves the child's relationship with themselves and how they view their world, especially with school. It addresses school a lot in this book. So the self-driven child. So this week, I'm going to be talking about the first two chapters. So if you are watching this live or if you're watching this as a recording, make sure you're commenting in the video. It helps more people see it. So just comment hello. What are your thoughts so far? As I share some things, comment what you're thinking and your responses to this. So this is kind of just you and me chatting, okay? As a mom to a parent or whoever is watching. I'm also an educator to educator, whoever is watching. I have lots of different hats here. Business owner to business owner. Maybe that's it. So we're going to talk about chapter 1 and 2, and I'm really just going to go through the things that I have underlined myself that stood out to me. And I would love to hear your thoughts about it. If you don't own the book, I would highly recommend you buy it. Buy the book, because you're going to want to mark this up, but you can get it at libraries. I found this at Barnes & Noble for like $20. All right, so chapter 1 is called The Most Stressful Thing in the Universe. So it's addressing stress, okay, and what's actually happening in your brain neurologically, why stresses happen, what kinds of stresses happen. I think this is prevalent. Guys, we have to start talking about this. Depression is now the #1 cause of disability worldwide. Like, that's eye-opening, right? We have our own issues with that in our own home. Like, it is prevalent. We cannot keep moving on in the world and ignoring this, right? Depression is huge. It's here. It's real. We've got to talk about it, right? So basically what stress boils down to is the brain. Okay, it's a chemical reaction. Okay, so this kind of relieves some guilt and shame off of your reactions to stress. It's a chemical reaction. And it boils down to basically your brain is seeking a sense of control. So they said that a handy little way to identify what causes stress in our brain, it's the acronym NUTS, so nuts. So the N is novelty, something you have not experienced before. Okay, U is unpredictability, something you had no way of knowing would occur. T is threat to the ego. Your safety or competence as a person is called into question. S is sense of control. You feel you have little or no control over the situation. These are the main components or the main reasons why people get stressed and why we react and our physical health declines, our relationships decline, our grades go down, our family units break apart, right? We have to talk about this, okay? So these are the things that cause stress. So this is connecting to exactly what we're going to be tying into Inspirations Academy for this next academic year is intentionally, and this is what we've been doing with our model. We don't do grade levels. We are all hands-on. We're immersive learning. But our goal is to make sure that kids are practicing productive stress. So the nuts, the things that I just read, don't cripple them when they leave your house, right? They have to practice it. And this is what the neuroscience says. So they're talking about, in chapter 1, a lot about stress, the brain science of it, sense of control versus perceived control, how you can actually trick your brain, which is the brain training stuff. I loved this. Our role as adults is not to force them to follow the track we've laid out for them. It's to help them develop the skills to figure out the track that's right for them. They will need to find their own way and to make independent course corrections for the rest of their lives. Okay, imagine, and maybe you've experienced this as an adult, okay? We've gone through our school, sorry, I have a little bit of a cold. Gone through school, everything's kind of spoon-fed to you. You do this at this time, get this grade, move on. Do this at this time, get this grade, move on. And then you go out in the real world, right? If you're watching, say hello. You go out in the real world, and it's like a slap in the face when something doesn't go your way in a job, or you didn't get the job that you went to school for. Like, I didn't get the job, or the job doesn't exist anymore. Have you all thought about that? The job doesn't exist. The things that we are preparing our children for now, we don't even know what we're preparing them for 10 years from now. What are the jobs going to be? Inspirations Academy is on top of it. We are on top of the research. We are tracking the trends. We are looking into it, guys. We cannot be stagnant with what we are putting our children through from, 3 through 18. This is the rapid development, brain development mode, and we have to stay ahead of it. So doing the same thing every year with the same grade level, there's always this grade level always does this. Guys, that's stagnant. It's quickly irrelevant. We can't operate like that, okay? Okay, so this then goes into a lot of the neuroscience. So it hits you right off the start with understanding your brain, how the different parts of the brain work, what parts of the brain are actually not even fully developed until like mid-20s, early 30s. Like, I didn't even know this stuff. This makes so much sense now. I'm like, I made a lot of dumb mistakes when I was like 22. I'm like, why did I do that? Like, have you all ever thought about that? It's because your brain, there's literal parts of your brain not developed yet. Something else that was kind of cool, I don't know if it was in this chapter or not, but your child's brain grows really quickly early on, okay? Really quickly early on. And then it kind of flatlines a little bit with growth and development. And then it has another super rapid growth from 12 to 18. Is this why are this age group of kids so difficult? I love this age group, the 12 to 18. They are cool. They are a cool age group. There are parts of their brain that are getting developed that makes them want to have more control. Okay. And it's a rapid development. And on top of that, they have hormones going. So, anyways, it's important to know this brain stuff because it really affects and impacts how you educate them early on and how you parent them. Something that I thought was really cool on page 20 about daydreaming. I always think of daydreaming as a negative thing as an educator, but actually it's healthy. It's healthy to encourage the daydreaming because that's where your brain, the neurons are connecting of all these different things that your brain has experienced in the day and it's processing. And it's actually really critical to develop critical thinking skills for the daydreaming. I thought that was kind of cool. Okay, so, oh yeah, children between the ages of 12 and 18 show more brain development than at any time in life other than their first few years. I think that's pretty eye-opening. Okay, let me move on here. So chapter 1 is kind of teaching you about, okay, the mindset of we can't protect our children from stress. We can't protect them from all the situations that we know will cause stress, right? And I think we're reactive a lot of the times out of the good nature of our hearts as parents. We love them. We don't want to see them hurt. So we often help them avoid the stressful situations instead of empowering them through it. So chapter 1 is kind of getting our mindset shift of we need to teach these children. Sorry, I have a cold. Anybody else have a cold in the middle of summer? That's weird. Teach them how to throw off stress versus internalize it. Okay, so that's kind of what chapter 1 is all about. Chapter 2 is I love you too much to fight with you about your homework. I love this. Okay, as an educator, I'm not big on the mundane homework. I never have been. There's not research that supports it really. Unless the child sees the why and understands how it's going to develop a skill, or they're seeing the value in it. If it is mundane and they are doing it because they have to get a grade or because it's on a checklist, there's no research that supports that kind of homework. So this is kind of really relieving pressure off the parent to take more of a consultant role versus a dictator role of monitoring their homework, fighting about homework. And this could be just in school in general, with classes they're taking and they're failing. If you have kids that are kind of pushing back a little bit, with school and classes and failing a class because they're not doing the work, this is going to teach you how to approach those situations and empower them to take ownership over this, but also staying involved. So self-driven childhood and self-driven learners, it's not about the adult steps out and lets the kid do what they want to do. It's not that. Okay, I just want to confirm that is not what this is. Parents and adults still have a responsibility in this self-driven child world, but it's more as a consultant or coaching role versus the manager and dictator role. It says you can't force a kid to do something he's dead set against. Have you all ever experienced that before? Like they just kind of put their heels in, they don't see the value in it, and they fight you on it. Yeah. It says when parents work harder than their kids to solve their problems, their kids get weaker, not stronger. I love that. I totally feel that way. As an educator, I'm like, we have to push through the hard. I believe in you. You can do it. Okay, that wasn't the best choice, but you can fix it. Let's learn from this. And I'm telling you guys, it is like, it is amazing when you see kids persevere and get past that moment, and then they no longer want you to be so involved. It's super cool. Okay, so this is called authoritative parenting. It goes through, and I made some notes about all this stuff on pages 35, 36. He goes through, the authors go through examples of what authoritative parenting looks like versus like dictator parenting looks like. You're still involved. You're still the parent. You have a more developed brain than they do. But it's all about giving them a perception of control, talking through the ifs, thans, like, okay, if this is what you choose, then this is what could happen, things like that. But giving your child the opportunity to make decisions for themselves while still young, you're actually helping their brain build the circuits that are necessary for resiliency in the face of stress. So you have to train. You have to go through the training, and it's not easy, and it doesn't feel good, and it's not going to happen in a day, right? This is a process that you have to take yourself through because the world doesn't train us this way. The world trains us to be compliant, complacent, do what I say when I say, or else you're going to fail. You're not going to be successful, right? That's kind of the model that we've all been reared in school world. I was raised in that. Like, if you don't do this, if you don't get this grade, if you don't get into this kind of transcript, if you don't do this, then you won't be successful. That's just simply not true. It's a false narrative. When kids feel that they are deeply loved, even when they're struggling, it builds resilience. And this is all biblical. This is not a biblically based book, but this is all in the Bible, people, about resiliency, perseverance, like the Bible commands it, right? So this is like, okay, let's do it. Let's do what the Bible says. Choosing not to fight takes the sail out of a child's wind. I like that. Okay, it goes into some cool scenarios, like real life scenarios of these guys who wrote this book, this scientist and this educator. And they share lots of every story in here is true. They share all these stories of all these situations, common fears of parents. That works for you, it won't work for me, that kind of thing. I hear that a lot from Inspirations Academy parents, like, well, that's working for you, but I'm not you, I can't do that, so that is a false narrative. Okay, so in actuality, kids are more likely to get depressed from a low sense of control than from experiencing a failure, especially if you support in the aftermath and help them see it as a learning opportunity and not the end. Failing is not the end, guys. Failing is part of growth. People go the extra mile when it matters to them, not when it matters to you. Whew, I love this mindset. Then when it goes into, at the end of every chapter, it says what to do tonight. So it gives you some action steps of training yourself so you can train your child through the self-driven model. Okay, guys, that is the recap this week for chapters 1 through 2, the self-driven child. You can catch all the replays on our YouTube channel, on our Facebook page. Tag your friends. Go grab this book at the library or go buy it yourself off Amazon. It is worth it. You're going to want to read and digest it a lot more than what I'm able to share with you. Comment below. It helps more people find the video. And I'll see you next Tuesday at 8 a.m.